Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is the Prince of FNAF, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing, and also be sure to hit that notification bell. That way, you'll indeed be notified for any awesome videos like this in the future. Hello everybody and welcome to the review. Do enjoy, and with that being said, tonight we're going to be taking a look at a movie called Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's a movie produced by Sony Pictures in 2018, and it is in correlation with Marvel Comics because, of course, Stan Lee and his people over there need to get some recognition for their work because Spider-Man and all related characters are a property of Stan Lee and Marvel Comics, so of course they need to get their share of the cut, if you know what I mean. But first thing I want to say, jumping into the review, is I love the art style of this movie. It really brings back those days of old comic books. I mean, the whole movie itself is just done in what looks like an old comic book brought to life. The whole movie's art style looks that way, and I love it. I love the references to different Spider-Man movies and different media revolving around the Spider-Man character. Definitely, it's lots of fun. The characters themselves are awesome. And I love this sort of coming-of-age story that they decided to do with the movie. It really brings in who Miles Morales is and how he became Spider-Man, how he became the next Spider-Man, because in the opening scene of the movie, Miles Morales kind of witnesses the death of his universe's Spider-Man and realizes that he has to take up the mantle and stop the Kingpin from using his collider to basically open up a black hole and kill everybody at the end. The movie is great. It's full of great characters. Spider-Gwen, Spider-Ham, Penny Parker, Peter B. Parker, all these great characters interacting in one scene. All these characters from different continuities. The one thing I would have changed, though, is had some more character disposition, because a lot of these other Spider-Man people from different continuities, maybe the newer fan won't know, and it would have been greater to hear a little bit more about who these characters were. Yes, we did have a brief thing that kind of told you who the character was, but it would have been nicer to see more of the character's traits. We did have a subplot of like Spider-Man Noir basically talking about color on a Rubik's Cube, and it was really quite funny. One of those gags that they did several times in the movie have him just being in awe about this Rubik's Cube, this simple Rubik's Cube, and just being like, color, what is it? And I love that he was also voiced by Nicolas Cage, definitely the best part of the movie. The characters really felt likable. They didn't feel like one-dimensional like most animated characters. They felt like actual beings, which I think a lot of movies miss, especially when it comes to animated films, because their target demographic is usually children. But no, this movie is fine, and it really does its story in a way that it makes it appeal to everybody. Everybody can enjoy this movie, and I think that's what they achieved. I love the different takes on some of the characters. The weird thing I didn't like, though, was that Green Goblin looks like a demon in this film. Now, I don't know if it's just something that's only contributing to Miles Morales' universe and his continuity, and Green Goblin happens to look like a demon in his continuity. But nonetheless, it's still a pretty cool design. It's just weird because I'd never seen Green Goblin look like that. Another thing I want to point out is how Gwen Stacy was already there before the events of the movie. Did Kingpin start up the collider with a test trial, if you will? And that's just the reason why Gwen Stacy's already there before the events of the movie? Who knows? I mean, that's probably the most basic way I can sum it up. Um, but yeah, I love the coming of age story, though, in this movie, how it basically tells you how he became Spider-Man and the kind of steps he needed to take to really prove his worth and, do what he needed to do to protect the city and just become the next Spider-Man. And I love that there were stakes too. If he didn't do what he needed to do, then, who was he gonna help? Nobody is the answer. And I thought it was awesome. I mean, I love just seeing this new version of Spider-Man play on screen. Black culture in this movie was awesome. I don't feel like the movie itself really wanted to do the black culture in a way that felt cliche, because this movie really makes black culture. You need Miles Morales and his family feel like actual black people interacting in a black society. It's awesome. They definitely feel like, real black people, and it's definitely fun to see on screen. I love the idea that they play with of him just kind of being distant from his dad, and then towards the end of the movie, he's just kind of friends with his dad, and they become closer through the events of the movie. And I love it. It's just definitely a great coming of age story with some extra, dimensional shenanigans tossed in as well. Um, Also, before I ended up the video, I just wanted to say that there are some Marvel Legends figures for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse that just recently became available. You do have the Prowler, you do have Spider-Gwen, you do have Spider-Ham, you do have Peter B. Parker, and of course Miles Morales. These, of course, aren't all the figures that are going to be appearing in this wave, but these are just the ones in correlation with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. But yeah, I thought I would talk about those because those are definitely becoming available right now. And your boy is going to be picking up a Spider-Gwen and a Miles Morales, and you will see those reviewed on the channel. But for this movie, I give this movie a 10 out of 10. It's definitely a great animated film with tons of references to the source material. Just wish that the other characters from different continuities would have had more story development and more history just told throughout the movie for people who wouldn't know a lot about these characters, because I mean, some of these characters that appear in the movie are either really old or really new, so it'd be nice to get some more character disposition. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Do take care, have a great night, and I'll see you guys in the next video.